Welcome to WERKS. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you do, please like, subscribe, and comment. Today's video is an update on the CNC router I'm building. This build has been challenging, but I've learned quite a bit in the construction of the router. I needed to compensate for the backlash in the rack and pinions that drive the gantry in the Y-axis, X-axis, and Z-axis. I'm using the Centroid Acorn, and their software makes this a little easier to perform. I stacked 1, 2, 3 blocks and used my last word half thousandths indicator to measure the distance and adjust for the backlash. I got it within a few thousandths and felt that would be alright for my needs. I'm not really sure that I could get it any closer without going to ball screws instead of the rack and pinion drive. I repeated this process a few times in a few different places on the bed to double check that I had good settings. Once I felt comfortable with the backlash settings, I set up a test cut that will allow me to check those backlash settings for accuracy. I cut 2 round holes in a pocket in a piece of red oak scrap. The first time I tested the cut, the dimensions were out in the X-axis, so I readjusted the backlash settings for the X-axis until I got good measurements. The Y and Z axes were good, so no adjustment to the backlash settings were required. I didn't have the dust collection set up, so I used my vac to clear the chips. I used pine boards on top of the MDF board because it was a cheap and fast install. I will replace the pine boards in the future with MDF once I have played with the router and made a few mistakes and screwed up the bed. I'm still looking at what I want my bed to have, such as locating pins, T-slots, or screw threads. Here I show the surfacing of the bed to get it smooth and to find the exact cut area of the router with a 1-inch diameter surfacing bit. The bed came out really flat and smooth, and I was happy with the result. Next, I had seen a video on YouTube that IDC Woodcraft put out showing a grid pattern that would help with alignment and setting up wood blanks on the router bed. I first determined I wanted a 4-inch grid pattern. I didn't have any reason for this spacing, just felt it looked good. I then set up a 60-degree V-bit to route the grid lines. Those turned out pretty good and decided I would add spacing numbers to the grid lines such as X4, X8, X12, Y4, Y8, Y12, etc. in the X and Y axis. The numbers turned out pretty good as well. I then took a rattle can of flat black and sprayed the grid lines and numbers. That allowed for the paint to fill in the numbers in the grid lines and to show the low spots on the bed. There were some low spots on the table, and I resurfaced the bed to eliminate those low spots. You can see them along the right edge of the router bed and a few light spots in the center of the bed. I've liked the grid pattern, and it has aided in alignment and setup of blanks for carving. The only issue with the bed is the pine boards that will cup and warp a little bit because of the humidity in my basement. Otherwise, the bed and router have performed up to expectations.
Thank you for watching WERKS, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe for future videos, and comment. Thanks again.